Pippi thought a moment. "You are right," she said sadly. "I'm lying." "It's so wicked to lie," said Annika, who had at last gathered up enough courage to speak. Evening, my little angel. I received 3 responses in the past 2 weeks to the question, if you were Pippi, how would you reply to Annika's comment? I will say that I am not lying. I will ask back, have you never lied? And the final answer was, my teacher said that whoever lies will turn black around the mouth. So I'll take the mirror and see if the mouth is black and consider it again. Receiving your replies, I am delighted. Regarding lying, it is difficult to explain this clearly to you children when you are at an age that makes it hard to distinguish between what happens in the imagination and other events in daily life. Likewise, you have not yet found the bad things come from the lie with bad intentions. Therefore, teachers, parents, and adults use simple expressions that you can understand to express the bad stuff that malicious lies can bring, such as the mouth turning black when lying, or the nose growing longer, as in the famous story Pinocchio. That means when you lie, others will notice, and malicious lies that are harmful to others and yourself are not welcome. Back to the story with Pippi. How did Pippi answer Annika? Let's listen to it right now. Yes, it's very wicked to lie, said Pippi, even more sadly. But I forget it now and then. And how can you expect a little child whose mother is an angel and whose father is the king of Uncannibal Island and who herself has sailed on the ocean all her life? How can you expect her to tell the truth always? And for that matter, she continued, her whole fragrant face lighting up. Let me tell you that in the Congo, there is not a single person who tells the truth. They lie all day long, begin at 7 in the morning and keep on until sundown. So, if I should happen to lie now and then, you must try to excuse me. And remember that it is only because I stay in the Congo a little too long. We can be friends anyway, can't we? Oh, sure, said Thomas, and suddenly realized that it would not be one of those days. By the way, why couldn't you come and have breakfast with me? Asked Pippi. Why not? Said Thomas. Come on, let's go. Oh yes, let's, said Annika. But first, I must introduce you to Mr. Nielsen, said Pippi, and the little monkey took off his cap and bowed politely. Then they all went in through Villekulla's tumble-down garden gate, along the gravel path bordered with old moss covered trees, really good climbing trees. They seemed to be up to the house and onto the porch. They stood the horse, munching oats out of the soup bowl. Why did you have a horse on the porch? Asked Thomas. All horses he knew lived in stables. Well, said Pippi thoughtfully. He'd be in the way in the kitchen, and he doesn't like parlor. Thomas and Annika patted the horse and then went on into the house. It has a kitchen, a parlor, and a bedroom, but it suddenly looked as if Pippi had forgotten to do her Friday cleaning that week. Thomas and Annika looked around cautiously, just in case the king of the cannibal island might be sitting in a corner somewhere. They had never seen a cannibal king in all their lives, but there was no father to be seen, nor any mother either. Annika said anxiously, Do you live here all alone? Of course not, said Pippi. Mr. Nielsen and the horse live here too. Yes, but I mean, Don't you have any mother or father here?
No, not the least little tiny bit of a one,
said Pippi happily. But who tells you when you go to bed at night and things like that? Asked Annika.
I tell myself,
said Pippi.
First, I tell myself in a nice, friendly way. Then, if I don't mind, I tell myself again in more sharply. And if I still don't mind, then I'm in for a spanking. See?
Thomas and Annika didn't see at all, but they thought maybe it was a good way. Meanwhile, they had come out into the kitchen, and Pippi cried,
Now we are going to make a pancake. Now there's going to be a pancake. Now we are going to fry a pancake. Then she took 3 eggs and threw them up into the air.
One fell out on her head and broke, so that the yolk ran into her eyes. But the other she cut skillfully in a bowl, where they smashed to pieces.
I always did hear that egg yolk was good for the hair,
said Pippi, wiping her eyes.
You wait and see. Mine will soon begin to grow so fast it will crackle. As a matter of fact, in Brazil, all the people go about with eggs in their hair. And there are no bald-headed people. Only once was there a man who was so foolish that he ate his eggs instead of rubbing them on his hair. He became completely bald, and when he showed himself on the street, there was such a riot that the police were called out. While she was speaking, Pippi had neatly picked the eggshells out of the bowl with her fingers. Now she took the bath brush that hung on the wall and began to beat the pancake batter so hard that it splashed all over the walls. At last, she poured what was left onto a cradle that stood on the stove. When the pancake was brown on one side, she tossed it halfway up to the ceiling so that it turned right around in the air, and then she cut it on the cradle again. And when it was ready, she threw its strings across the kitchen right on the plate that stood on the table. Eat, she cried. Eat before it gets cold.
And Thomas and Annika ate and thought it's a very good pancake. Afterwards, Pippi invited them to step into the parlor. There was only one piece of furniture in there. It was a huge chest with many tiny drawers. Pippi opened the drawers and showed Thomas and Annika all the treasures she kept there. There were wonderful birds' eggs, strange shells and stones, pretty little boxes, lovely silver mirrors, pearl necklaces, and many other things that Pippi and her father had bought from their journeys around the world. Pippi gave each of her new playmates a little gift to remember her by. Thomas got a deck with a shimmering mother of pearl handle, and Annika a little box with a cover decorated with pink shells. In the box, there was a ring with a green stone.
Suppose you go home now,
said Pippi,
so you can come back tomorrow. Because if you don't go home, you can't come back, and that could be a shame.
Thomas and Annika agreed that it could indeed, so they went home, past the horse, who had now eaten up all the oats, and out through the gate of Villekulla. Mr. Nielsen waved his hat at them as they left. Today's story time is over. I wish my angel a good night's sleep. I kiss you long on your forehead. See you again next time.